In Donald Trump's latest indictment, Michigan was named as one of 7 states that were part of the fake elector scheme to cast false electoral college ballots for the former president. 2 Michigan Republicans charged with being fake electors appeared in court last week. In addition, 2 Michigan allies of Trump were also charged with felonies in connection with attempting to access and tamper with voting machines in the state. But since the 2020 election, Democrats have gained the majority in both legislative chambers and the governor's mansion for the first time in 40 years. Joining me now is the Lieutenant Governor of Michigan, Garland Gilchrist. Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, welcome back to the Sunday Show.
Thank you for having me. So good to be here.
So your state was in the headlines this past week for all the wrong reasons, thanks to former President Trump and the indictment. But what are your thoughts on holding people accountable for their alleged illegal efforts to thwart the will of the people in your own state?
Well, the alleged criminality of all of these actors, up to and including the former president, is unprecedented and disgusting. And so I'm looking forward to the legal system playing out both in our state as well as federally, because people do need to answer for the damage and the threats that they pose to our democracy. And in Michigan, we're doing everything we can with the power that the voters gave us to make sure that voting and democracy are easily accessible to every person in Michigan, because we believe that more people participating in the process is better than fewer. And that's what you're going to see in Michigan. And we hope to be a model for the rest of the country in that.
Well, speaking of being a model for the rest of the country, your party, the Democratic Party, has been able to secure some key progressive wins in the state on education and protecting LGBTQ rights. The question is, how have you been able to keep the party on board and stay in lockstep to pass these measures?
It's because we are being responsive to what we have heard from every community in the state of Michigan. Governor Gretchen Whitmer and I, we spend a lot of time on the road. Michigan's a really big state, so we have to go and meet people where they are. And we talk with them about what it takes to create generational economic opportunity. And that starts with education. And that is why we have now put our state on a path to universal pre-K education. We are ending hunger in our schools by providing free breakfast and free lunch for every child in the state of Michigan, which, in addition to making sure kids can focus on learning and not their bellies, is going to save families $850 a year in the process. We've increased school funding more than 20% since we've been in office for the last 5 years, the highest ever been in Michigan's history. So we're providing pathways to opportunity, and everyone can align with that. And we've done these budgets on a bipartisan basis because even some of the elected Republicans understand that this is better for their district, it's better for their constituents, it's better for Michigan.
So then what lessons should national Democrats learn from your success in Michigan?
To be unafraid to go and meet people and then deliver for them. When people say that they need to have their full retirement, you need to deliver that like we did in Michigan by ending the tax on retirement income that Republicans posed on them 12 years ago so they could cut taxes for rich people and big companies. When you hear people saying they want their state to be more competitive, you need to deliver on that, which we've done with the Make It in Michigan Competitiveness Fund, so that we can compete and win more federal dollars than any other state. When you hear that we need to have a revolutionary approach to ending poverty, you need to take big steps like we did in the city of Flint in this budget with the RX Kids program, which is going to provide for the first time ever in the nation $500 per month as a medical prescription to expectant mothers in the community all the way through their child's first birthday. This is because poverty leads to poor health outcomes, and we're going to solve that in the state of Michigan, in the city of Flint that has had such big challenges. These are the kinds of bets that me and Governor Whitmer are making on the people of Michigan, and we hope that other folks in communities across the country will take note.
All right, in the minute that we have left, I want to switch gears to the 2024 presidential race. Recent Emerson College poll of registered Michigan voters showed President Biden and Trump tied in a head-to-head matchup. And when you throw in Green Party candidate Cornel West in the mix, Trump leads 43-41. What do you think of this?
It just means that there is an opportunity to tell the story of progress and success. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have delivered for the state of Michigan, whether it's things like bringing supply chains home through the CHIPS and Science Act. We're making sure that we're creating jobs in the semiconductor industry. We're expanding electric vehicle production and electric battery production that's led to some of the biggest job creation projects in the history of the state of Michigan. This administration has delivered us on higher job participation rate, as well as the lowest unemployment rate in 23 years. And that's thanks to coordination with our federal partners. Vice President Harris, President Biden, our congressional delegation, and we're going to tell that story all across Michigan, and we've got a year to do it.